Hi everybody, I'm Lorina Quigley, your Mystic Medium. That's my handle, Lorina Q Mystic Medium. I'm here to do another video today. This one is on mediumship, connecting with spirit, connecting with loved ones from the other side. This is what we're going to talk about, and to hopefully help teach you how to just connect with spirit better, give better messages, this sort of thing, so that so that you have benefit from listening to this video. First of all, I have been doing this work for a really long time. I started doing mediumship in 2003. I did not know I was a medium at that time. I started taking a class. It was supposed to be a psychic development class. That's all it said. And it turns out, and this was in New York City, the teacher, Holistic Studies Institute, Stephen Robinson, he was a spiritualist minister and had a spiritualist church. I don't even know if I was aware of that at that time. Coming from Utah, it was not a big subject back then. Yeah, other things were, in the spiritual realm were much more important than talking to dead people. I didn't really know anything about it. And my first experience this was the first class that we did. It was so much fun. We played Psychic Pictionary. And what that means is Psychic Pictionary, he had a big whiteboard that was not faced towards us, so only he could see it. And he drew a picture and he said, draw the first thing that comes to your mind. And we all had paper and pencil, because back then people brought that to classes, which, I recommend highly. Bring a notebook. Anyway, he said, draw the first thing that comes to your mind. Draw the first thing that comes to your mind. Well, this is one of the keys to mediumship and psychic development. Go with your first impression, always. You could be wrong, but go with that first impression. That is usually information coming in. Anyway, that was the first class, and it was really fun and exciting, and well, I did really well in the Psychic Pictionary class, but and I have played that on holidays with family. Let's play Psychic Pictionary. It's pretty fun, and it's there's no contest there. It's for fun, and you might learn that you have some really psychic family members. Anyway, just a fun thing to do. The second class, we had a full-on seance. Turned out the lights, did a meditation, called in spirit, and that was the beginning of, oh my God, maybe I am a medium, because I saw a spirit walk into the room, look like a ghost. My eyes are open, and it's a woman. She walks right in front of me, walks towards me, puts her head on her lap, and starts crying. Puts her head on my lap. Did I say her lap? She put her head on my lap and started crying. And at the same time, I was getting information about the woman who was sitting not next to me, but the second one. I knew that was her mother and bunch of other stuff. And this was towards, I don't know, 3/4 into this seance, and we didn't know what we were in for, so there was no time to be afraid. We're doing this, and this is what it looks like. But he did call it a seance. Anyway, and so very sheepishly, I'm like, and we're in the dark. This is a dark room. I'm like, I have a message. Because this is my first experience with anything like this. Now, I've had other experiences, like seeing beings and stuff, but this was a ghost. This was a dead person who was on the other side who came to give a message. Anyway, and the woman who the message belonged to, she started crying. And I gave the message, and I thought, oh my God, this is the coolest thing on earth. And I'm going to do more of this, and I'm definitely coming back to this class. So back then, this is 2003, I stuck with that class and I got to advanced level, and I had other really cool, amazing experiences doing this. But but I wanted to share. I didn't know I was a medium. And since then, I have taken many classes and worked with many, many teachers trying to hone my skill as a medium and a psychic. I've also taken lots of remote viewing classes, all to develop my mediumship skills and just all psychic work, because they all blend together, and they all help each other. So it's a pretty amazing and fun work to do, and a world that's really exciting to explore, because hey, if you can talk to dead people, that's and get messages for loved ones. I'm trying to steer a cat here, so he was going for the microphone here on the light here. Anyway, so I might seem a teeny bit distracted. I've got a cat who wants to really get involved with this situation here. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that it is such a healing experience to give somebody a message from a loved one who's on the other side for whatever reason that they need to hear, whatever thing that they need to hear from that person to help bring a healing. It's such a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a truly beautiful thing. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. Anyway, so this video, so I wanted to just say that. And also, I wanted to share this. I'm reading this book, On the Side of Angels. This is compiled by Jean Bissett, and it's Gordon Higginson's book. So I just wanted to show you that. This book is out of print, so it's not that easy to find, but you can find copies of it. He is, or was, I can't remember when he passed, is a medium and a physical medium. He did something called direct voice, where your voice, the loved one who's coming through, their voice gets projected through your voice book, but it sounds like your voice box, but it sounds like it's coming into the room, and it doesn't sound anything like the medium's voice, as in, you know, somebody who's channeling or doing trance channeling, or spirit channeling, which is somebody kind of overlays and gives a message from that other person. They're still using your voice, so it might sound somewhat like you. Know, voice box and physical mediumship is very different. It's like a voice being projected into the room. So he could do that. He's really good at it. I think he started doing mediumship when he was pretty young. His mother was a medium, so his first, I think, messages that he started to give in front of, or demonstrations started to give in front of people, he was 12 years old. So he did it for many years. He was very connected to spirit. And it's very inspiring to read this book. I am really enjoying it. So if you get a chance to read this book, and if you're interested in mediumship, please read it. He's very old school English medium, so they're very kind of rigid in the way they do mediumship. There's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to preface that. But one of the things that he really talks about in this book is, that gets into, is doing breath work. Doing breath work before you give readings. So he was into breath work. This is not talked a lot about in mediumship. He talks about it in this book. In fact, I heard that and I'm like, oh, I'm buying that book. Because breath work will help you become more psychic. Therefore, any kind of psychic work which moves into mediumship, it will assist you in becoming more psychic. So it's a very valuable tool. This medium, who's a very famous medium, he did it and recommended it. So do breath work. It will help a lot. Okay, so the things that I really wanted to bring forward about mediumship today is that mediumship is a passive or receptive experience. So you have to be in a place where you are receiving. You are open to receiving. You have to be open. A lot of people in the world are what they call type A personalities. They're very aggressive. This is not a place where you don't receive information from that place. So this is why meditation is helpful. So you can calm yourself down, be open, be receptive. It is a big part of mediumship, is learning how to be receptive and passive. It's not a popular word, passive, because of what it implies, but there is a passive state that has to take place where you are open to spirit. And that leads me to the next thing. What is spirit? I wanted to get into this because I didn't realize this for many years later, that what is spirit, because a lot of people talk about connecting with spirit, and I want to connect with spirit. And Gordon Higginson from this book, he really gets into spirit and what is spirit. So spirit is not just a spirit who is on the other side who's coming to communicate with me. It's actually bigger than that. Spirit is God or source or the divine or whatever you want to call it. This is what spirit is. And this is why a lot of mediums talk about how sacred and special it is to be a medium, because what you're doing is you're connecting with source or the divine. And as you do this, so you're connecting to this higher plane where God exists, and you're bringing that energy through you and connecting with it, and then asking spirits, loved ones from the other side or guides to come through and communicate with you. So it's a word that's used a lot, spirit and spirits, and it is two different things. So just to let you know, and this was not differentiated for years for me. It took me a while to figure this out, some studying and some reading and working with some mediums, some amazing mediumship teachers. James von Prague being one of them. I've taken 2 levels of his classes. Gordon Smith, he's my favorite medium and mediumship teacher. I love him. Worked with him in person, so that's really cool. Again, just so kind and just a beautiful, bright human, and such a good heart. But what was I going to say? I was talking about these guys and I kind of lost it. Anyway, I did not know what spirit truly meant until I had been studying it for a while, because it was never differentiated for me. So I had to figure that out at some point. And I think I figured it out probably when I started teaching myself, teaching psychic development and mediumship. This is when I really went into it and worked with some other teachers too. A lot of them are UK mediums. What that's really about and going to a deeper level with that information. Anyway, so I just wanted to make sure that I really spoke about this. So when you're getting ready to connect with spirit, what I do personally is I call in source or the divine, and I ask a bright light from source to come in and to connect with me. And I open that light up and I bring it through me. Now there is a technique that you can do where you're bringing that cosmic or divine force energy in through you, and you just imagine it going through you, and you breathe that energy in, bringing source energy in, bringing source energy in, that cosmic, or we can call it cosmic energy because it's higher vibration energy. You're bringing it in through you, and you can bring it in with the breath, and just imagine that white light going all the way through you, going back around and through you. And then what you do is you connect with the earth. You connect with the earth. So you do the opposite. So you're breathing in and pulling energy from the earth up and through you and out and to the other side. And back around, and breathing up from the earth and back around. And what this is it looks like a tube torus. A lot of people know what a tube torus is. It's an energy field that encapsulates your energy, encapsulates the earth. it's part of an energetic structure. So you're reinforcing that energy structure and connecting to it mentally, psychically. This helps you be in your body, because you do need to be in your body. You need to feel where you are in your body. And the reason why is because when spirits or loved ones from the other side start coming in, so you know where you are, you know how you feel, you've tuned into that. So when spirits come in, you will start to feel their energy, which is different than your energy. And so it's important to allow yourself to feel that. Okay. And then you can start feeling, perceiving the information that's coming in through the body. Some people are more conceptual. I am very empathic, clairsentient, so I always feel it with my body. And a lot of people do, a lot of mediums do. I have a friend who was like, I'm feeling it in my body. I feel this stuff in my body. And it's like, well, if you're a good medium, you feel it in your body. That's part of being a medium, is that information will come in through the body. And that goes into other kind of psychic systems that, like remote viewing, information comes in through the body. So it's good to know and feel where you are so that you can perceive that difference. And that is information. And then you start feeling it and perceiving it and becoming aware of it. And then you can start asking, what else is here? What else is here? Let's see. And then while you're doing this, when you ask Spirit to come in, so you ask Spirit to come in, you ask loved ones from the other side to come in and connect with you. And a great way to do this is, if you're working with somebody, the sitter or your client, whatever you want to call them, connect with their heart. Connect with their heart. Because it connects you to the space of love and heart to heart, and being really connected with them in a way where you really care about them. And it's like a soul-to-soul connection. And this is part of doing energy work, psychic work. Connect with their souls. Definitely with energy work. You connect with their soul and feel where they are. So you start connecting with them, and then you ask their loved one to come forward. It could be a specific loved one. It could be, we don't get to choose usually who comes through. They do, because another important thing, my elbow keeps sliding off this table, they decide. So they decide who's going to come through. You are working for Spirit. You're not working for the client, because it's the Spirit that you really want to connect with, to give them the message. And you can try and get the person that they want, absolutely, and you might succeed very well. But it's not up to me, it's not up to them, it's up to Spirit. They're holding the cards in this situation. So anyway, so what you want to do, or what you can do, is to start tuning into your own chakra system and start feeling where it might light up in your own body that pertains to the Spirit that's coming through. And just see what happens. So start paying attention to your own body, pay attention to your chakra system, your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, solar plexus, sacral chakra, root chakra. Where is information coming in, and what is it telling you? Does it have a color? Does it have a feeling? What kind of energy is it? Is it intense? Is it light? Is it lighthearted? Okay, moving on to, so what you can do is you're feeling this and you're receiving information. You can ask yourself, and this is very beginning mediumship, does this person feel male? Does it feel female? And sometimes a lot of psychics and mediums, when they're first learning, they go, okay, they're showing up on my left side. On my left side, that means it's female. Or they're showing up on my right side, that means it's male. And then you can get like father, child, a father, child, grandparent might even be further behind. But on this side. And so it could feel generational. But this is where you start perceiving and getting better at deciphering what the Spirit is trying to tell you. But I was going to make the point that at some point, though, they just come in. I used to kind of work with, it's on this side, so it's female, it's on this side, so it's male. At some point, that stopped. I think that was just to help me get clear on, is it male or female? At some point, you just know. It's like, oh, this is a grandfather, he's coming through, and this is what he has to say. And then you can also ask them to show when they passed, were they young? Were they old? And just feel into that. Oh no, this person died. They passed when they were much older. They were much older. In fact, he was really old, and I see him in a like a hospice type bed he's showing me getting ready to leave, and he's showing me people all around him, loved ones, as he's getting ready to pass, this sort of thing. So, I'm seeing a little boy, he died when he was younger. So you're going to start getting this information to come in, but to ask that, make sure that you ask that. And one of the easiest ways to start getting information from a loved one on the other side is to try and pick up on their personality. Now, if they have a really big personality, it's easier to pick up on. Like a lot of people from my family who have gone to the other side are quiet. They're all quiet. They're harder to get information from because they are kind of shy and reserved and not noisy people. So that's a little harder to pick up. In fact, usually it's the noisiest person in the family or the loved one who wants to come through. The noisiest one, the one who talked the most, who got the most attention, they're usually the ones who come through first. But sometimes they lead the way to bring somebody else through who's a little bit quieter, so that you're paying attention to that. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I've seen that and I've experienced it. It's quite interesting. So a lot of, I don't even know if I want to say this, a lot of people have a hard time reading some my family members because it's a lot of quiet people. They did not make a lot of noise in their lifetime. So anyway, but there's still, you know what, no matter what, there is information. And if you just stay open and keep looking, you're going to get the information. But the louder one, it's sort of like the squeaky wheel gets the attention. This is, it's the squeaky wheel of people who are on the other side, the ones who made the most noise, who usually come through first, but they can be helpers. But it is a very easy way to read somebody if you look at their personality, like they were very stern and they worked a lot and they worked very hard all their lives, and they were very, very strict, or they were very loving. I see, this sort of thing. The start is a great place to start to try and look at their personality and see what kind of information that you get. And also to ask yourself, if they start showing you things that are a little bit confusing, what you do is just ask, why are you showing me this? What does this mean? I'm not sure what this means. You're asking the spirits, the loved ones who are on the other side, to show you more clearly. And it will happen if you give it enough time. And it's okay to pause, to not say anything, and just go, okay, just a minute. Okay. I'm just seeing what they have to say. Oh yeah, they're telling me, they had stomach problems and they were sick quite a bit. This is what they're showing me. I was confused about that, but they're showing me that really, really clearly now. They had a lot of stomach issues, but some of it was very, was around being anxious and nervous about things in the future and what was going to happen. They worried a lot, and it was, and I'm really feeling this at the time. I don't know who's trying to come through, but this is what I'm getting, so I'm just giving it. They had a lot of nervous energy, but it definitely affected their digestive system. This feels like a woman who's coming through now. She experienced a lot of fear in her heart, and she also had a hard time expressing herself. Words would get stuck, and she was actually sometimes afraid to express herself. Now, anyway, I don't know why I'm getting this, but this is what I'm getting. So I'm sharing that information, but this is kind of how you may start seeing information coming through. But it is okay to pause, check back in, and just kind of, okay, give me a moment. Because they might start asking you a lot of questions, and it's okay to go, okay, wait, stop. Let me check in again. And give yourself the time to do that. And also, when you're doing this kind of work, it's important. Your language is important too. So, and one of the biggest things that we make doing this kind of work is we say, I think. I do not think. This is not about thinking, because once you start using that word and once you start making it mental, you're becoming less connected to spirit and more connected to your mind and your ego about what's coming through. So try not to use the word think ever. When you're doing this, I mean, sometimes we have to use that word think quite a bit, but because we are all very mental. Yes. Anyway, and then just trying to think of what else do I have written down here that's really, really good kind of information about doing mediumship. The biggest thing about doing mediumship is to practice. Meditate. I know, it's boring. Meditate. Sit in the power. You can call it sitting in the power. You can call it meditation. Call it whatever you want. You have to sit and meditate, because it helps you to feel where you are, helps you to recognize your own states of awareness and consciousness, and it will help it grow. As you meditate, as you sit in the power, it's extremely beneficial, because it helps you to go into a meditative state where you can receive information. It's part of the process, holding that space open so that you can perceive information. So you have to practice being in that state. Also, you can practice going into trance states. Like, I'm talking about deeper trance states when I say this. Talking about deeper trance states where you can use binaural beats, like delta, delta's almost sleep state, but if you can stay awake and use delta waves, good for you, because you're going into a deep trance state. Theta waves. So you learn how to go into that state. So those tools, like using binaural beats, can help you learn to go into that state so that you know what it feels like, so that when you want to go into that state without using that tool, it will become automatic. You just know. It's like, okay, I just know what that state is. Hold on. Shifting your energy, shifting your awareness, and you're there. See, I just did that for myself. So you can do it that quickly, but that is learning how to move into that state and hold that state. Very beneficial for doing this kind of work. And trance work, you're going into deeper states where you can channel. Channeling's really fun. There are different levels to channeling. We've been doing it in my class and in my circles lately. It's really cool. So, but that is an extension of mediumship, where you start doing trance states, which is really cool. And it's a different level of information that can come through in various ways. Maybe I'll make a video about that, because that goes into two different types of trance channeling and what that can mean. So, haven't thought about that till just now. I'll do a video on that. Anyway, so breath work, again, one of the most important things is doing breath work. It will help you sort of like clearing the cobwebs, clearing the stuff that's stuck. Doing breath work will start moving some of that dross or just mental energy, because we got a lot of thoughts, and so it'll help you move some of that so you can go into a clearer state with breath work. And it will happen even faster, but you can use it as a tool, like do breath work every day, or however often it works for you, to help start cleaning up the clutter, cleaning up the clutter mentally and emotionally, even physically. Just start moving that so that you can be more present in your body, in your spirit, physically, mentally, in all ways, so that you can do this work. And it's really fun work, and it's worth it. It is worth it. So please try all these things. I think that's it for now. Hopefully you made it to the end of this video. I do energy healing. I do readings, mediumship, and psychic. I also do Akashic record readings, in person here in Phoenix, or remotely. Anyway, if anyone's interested, just want to throw it out there. And please like, share, and subscribe these videos. I'm going to keep making more of them because I want to help you become more psychic, because it is really fun and it's a wonderful adventure. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.